Okay, today's video is concerning Rust Legacy. This is on a server that's called Legion Rust. It's not unmodded, but it's pretty close to not being modded. And this is a spot between the labeled location Civilian Road and Factory Radtown. I call it the spot because of a visual anomaly that shows up in the game when it's at the end of the daylight cycle in the game. This is the averages from approximately 2 runs. It was actually 1 and then 1.5 and then another half. Going out during it reloading all of the resources in the area at approximately 8 spawn locations on the splat map. Metal nodes, sulfur nodes, stone nodes, or just rocks in general. And then wood piles. 217 wood, 34 metal ore, 35 sulfur, and 42 stone. And part of the first run was used to make a legacy shelter for 50 wood, the door for 30, and a box for 30. So that's after doing this. And that's about it. It's somewhat modded. I mean, it does speed crafting, but there's something kind of not really all that modded. The area here is over here next to this, again, it's referred to as Factory Radtown. It's the one that's very dangerous to go into for several reasons, and it's already having respawning. And this has happened within approximately a 40-minute period of time. That's the amount you can expect from it. And this is the area this is in, and I'm going to show you the spot real quick, just because it's an interesting anomaly. If the sun is at an angle, like right now, it's early, not before noon. But if the sun's over that way, an anomaly in the game engine, which is pretty common in all game engines, is that the light will have to pass through not only this layer of terrain, it will also have to pass through all of these meshes that form the rocks and everything else. Now, normally a game engine culls all lighting effects so it doesn't light it up. So it would look normal like that. It just looks like a rock sitting out here. The game engine, however, decides that since the light has passed through, quote, back faces of both the terrain and these meshes, that it should be as bright as possible or, quote, unlit or evenly lit. And this little squarish kind of shape here will show up bright enough and flash enough, and it'll be pink. And it looks like, if you're way over that way, to be a player either in a sleeper mode or moving, and it blinks constantly. It's very visually annoying, and it catches your eye. I call this the spot, or the dot, because it literally shows up like that. There are several of them in the game. There's a whole bunch of them on the other side of Mount Everest that make it to where it's very visually annoying. Some of them are pretty big. But anyway, I just thought I'd show you this one. And again, on the map, we're right there. And to demonstrate its specifics, I'll just bring it up real quickly, mostly because it's kind of interesting. We duck down, and I'm going to dead center it and hit it. And you hear a toing, almost a metallic noise. We go to the right, dirt. We go to the left, we have to be over here, dirt. If we go forward and above it, we get dirt, and below it, we get dirt noise. But right in the middle, ding, like you're hitting almost a metallic noise. So, yeah, that's a prominence, and it's the peak of something, which means there's some ginormous rock like one of these things sitting under there or laying on its side underneath it. Yeah. And it's and again, the splat map, as it's called apparently in the Unity game engine, for saying whatever shows up here, does show up in random locations. Some of them will repeat, but randomization doesn't mean that it doesn't repeat. It just means that it's random. And it's about 8 either wood piles and or stone nodes. And this is, again, next to Factory Radtown. Warning, I'm using a map that scrunches everything up a bit so that when I run on a road, the road actually matches where my little green dot is. So this won't be accurate to your play of the game. Heck, you might even be running a version that doesn't even have the map. Anyway, that's it for today's video on Rust Legacy. And this is a review of this, I'm going to call it splat map area, out back behind Factory Radtown and over by the dot. Thank you. Goodbye.